This is the best car ever, I got to tell you. Yes.
I'm sure we have a lot to talk about this car.
Yes. You didn't hear the car, did you?
No, it was pretty
so
totally
no
quiet.
Sound pollution at all?
Yeah.
And no pollution at all.
And so that's especially good for Yangon.
Yeah.
It's really lots of noise with the car.
There's a lot of pollution in the air also, isn't it?
Exactly. I will show you. I will talk a lot about this car and then the air pollution and environment. But can we start talking about the situation in the country?
Yeah.
First, welcome to Yangon.
Thank you.
And I mean, you know pretty well about the situation in the country and Burma in the transition to democracy.
Yeah.
And of course, Norway is pretty much involved from the beginning, like since the Nobel Peace Prize, Aung San Suu Kyi in 1991, for many, many years. Yeah. What do you think about the current democratic transition in this country?
It's of course a complex situation, and it's kind of a young and growing democracy. And for Norway, it's been important to encourage that, and both through the embassy and through our companies, we really want to encourage that process to go further on in the next days, weeks, months, and years ahead, because there are some regions that also really need to improve. I've met people that told a lot of that. So it's a complex situation.
And of course, like connected with the democratic transition, we also going through the peace process, you know, with lots of rebel groups and the governments and the military having a dialogue to try to find the lasting peace in Burma. But that has been dragging on for many years. And what do you think, like, you know, what do we need to more involved to get it more faster?
This morning I met with different religious and ethnical leaders from Rakhine with a really strong message. They wanted to have peace, and of course there are some reports that we're working on these days, and of course the injustice need to be addressed. And we will have our meetings, and we will address those issues together with the other important issues that we are going to talk with the government about.
And the next one, I'd like to talk about human rights and press freedom. I mean, of course, I mean every transition country, you know, having similar difficulty, but the media, especially here, being difficult to survive because of level playing field is not fair. There are some restrictions. For example, like two right-to journalists who are charged by the code. What do you think? There should be more press freedom? The journalists should be able to write what they need to write freely?
Yes, of course. From like our perspective and from the Norwegian standards, it's a fundamental right that the right of the press, free press, is so important. Of course, with new technology and with different kind of social media, there's always a threat of having the echo chambers, even if the press is free. So we still got that discussions back home in Norway also. But the fundamental rights must be at place, and free press is one of the main goals and should be also for Myanmar.
And nowadays, like when it comes to Burma in the international community, Rohingya issue is pretty much a hot topic. Yeah. And the UN Human Rights Council in General Assembly has been calling for independent investigation in what happened in the Arakan state. What is the Norwegian government position for that?
We're going to follow that situation closely, and we're going to, first of all, we have used the time now with having, for me also, like the backdrop of it, first visited Cox's Bazar, then having the meeting with the different religious and ethnical groups in Rakhine, and we're also going to Sitwe And then we're also going to talk with the government. So we're going to follow the situation closely.
So we can talk about the environment and the electric car, but in connection with that, you know, in this country, some are being oppressed. There are some people who are oppressor, some people rich, some people poor. You know, some are different ethnic group, a religious group, but we all share one thing. That's our environment.
Yeah.
Right. And the pollution, I can show you. You were just talking about the, you know, how polluted. This is from this morning.
Wow.
It's highly polluted.
Wow.
This number is like almost one of the highest cities.
96.
Yeah, one of the highest city in the world.
Yeah.
That's from just this morning. So that kind of thing, even you just come here, will be affected.
If we had those numbers back in Norway, we had to close the schools.
Definitely.
Regulations actually said that we have to keep the kids at home. So we have like trackers around the city just to see. And when we started with electrical cars, you have seen a tremendous change. Half the cars from my region, where I'm from, that are sold these days are electrical cars. So, and I love this car actually. Did you know that I actually got this car at home? Yeah. I've had it for 3 years, and it's so good. Silent, so you don't.
And I read 1 in 3 new car. It's electric car in Norway. Norway is the number one
actually,
top country. How do you do that, and why is it so important?
I remember actually when I came into politics, that was one of the first things I actually were about to do together with some other guys. We ordered 69 cars, not the large one, but Nissan also, Leaf, a smaller car, to our municipality, and just to use our to invest in infrastructure and to actually let the municipality and the government step forward as a good example. And that kind of unfolded the rest of the story. So today, actually in that area, 50% of all the new cars that are sold are electrical cars.
And also plastic, for example, you do 97% of plastic bottle recycled, right? I mean, it's all connected with getting the clean air, you know, getting the saving the environment. Are you going to share like these knowledge and expertise with your meeting in the government?
Yes, we have some projects that we want to share when we meet the government, and of course the climate change are running faster than the governments are, also in Norway and Europe and other countries also. So we need to do whatever we can to keep up the pace with the climate change. So recycling plastic and also recycling paper, and there are so many interesting business models into circular economy that should be experimented. So hopefully both your country and my country will succeed furthermore.
Is there any concrete like assistance to Burma in that kind of area, saving the environment?
I think there's so many things you can do. Actually, I came from Eastern Africa, from Ethiopia. They have actually recycling paper that get burned or just being waste, and then they could collect it and they got money back from it, and they recycle it into school books, and they also teach the students about recycling. So there's into circular economy, there's very interesting business models, and that also help us to reach the SDGs. We need to do that. So I hope every government, both in Asia and Europe and in Africa, will strengthen their work into these issues.
What I meant is Norwegian government officials' support to our government for doing these kind of things.
I think just to share the knowledge and to share the results. The air is much cleaner now.
In Norway?
Back home. Yeah, it's a tremendous change, and the electrical car transport system is a huge amount of the pollution actually. So it's and we also have them in the large trucks now in the whole transportation system, the buses and
the taxi.
Yeah, so it's important to show the results and to share the knowledge, and you need the infrastructure. You need to invest in the infrastructure. So when people buy this, they got the infrastructure, the charging possibilities nearby.
I heard today that you can now charge like wirelessly for the taxi.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
And I actually think that it's, in not many years you actually can drive around in the streets and charge while you're driving. So the technology is going quite fast. We just need to jump on and be part of that journey.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.